military developed this process of half-life overhaul because of the large fleets that they have.
We find that refurbishing a vehicle is a much more viable option than sometimes buying a whole brand new one.
If you catch that vehicle at that half-life stage, you can literally almost double its life. To extend the life of their vehicles, even 2 to 3 more years can save them literally millions of dollars.
Anything from track vehicles such as howitzers, bulldozers, like D7s, D5s, D9s, tractor trailers, along with electronics, communication shelters, generators, well drilling rigs, trash compactors, anything with a motor or tracks and wheels.
You know, the customer can have us build these vehicles like brand new or do a limited overhaul, something that suits their need to extend the life of those vehicles another 2, 3, 7 years, whether it's individuals or fleet-wide. We design the production line to fit that scope of work and the customer's pocketbook. The physical size of the buildings that we're in here, we can handle complete fleets.
That arch hangar, it's the largest concrete hangar in the world.
We have secured storage over 1.8 million square feet. The throughput capability, we can do hundreds of vehicles in a year. To turn those fleets over on a weekly and monthly basis, start to finish.
If a customer comes in and has to be put up, we got the accommodations to do that. The Loring end used to be the motel when an officer was transferred here for a couple weeks or whatever. That's where they put him up. We've leased that hotel. We're able to offer that service and be able to give them a ride to the Presque Isle Airport in the morning so they can make their flight.
We took one of our compactors from our landfill that was right there in Bangor and moved it up to Loring, and it was a unit that was retired. Loring took it down to, bare metal and has rebuilt it, and at about half the cost of new.
Casella Waste Management, the idea of Loring managing an overhaul program for all of their equipment, landfill management equipment, their garbage trucks, to set up a program that would feed those vehicles in, and managing that half-life overhaul program will save them millions and millions of dollars.
There's a tremendous opportunity for a lot of municipalities. You could probably buy twice the number of buses if you could replace them for half the cost. And if you didn't need to expand it, you can still lower your capital costs by 40 or 50%. And that's a significant savings from a public transportation standpoint.
Day one, they have to get these tasks done.
The base had a number of military contracts that all of a sudden expired, and so the governor was looking for different ways that they could keep the employment there.
Our experience has been mostly doing military sales.
We knew we had to make a shift if we were going to survive, and that game ultimately we decided was going to be mass transit.
We're the only facility that offered the military a 1-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. It's unheard of in the military.
Guys that I knew of that were in Iraq, like my brother-in-law, whenever they seen the Maine military tag in the vehicle, those were usually the vehicles they jumped into because they knew the quality. The Humvee vehicle was built so much better than the other facilities that built them.
But to have somebody that brings credibility in that refurbishment world, in the world of trucking and parts, it's really given a new breath of fresh air to the possibilities.
Joe comes with 50, 60 years of Kenworth experience, 50, 60 years of relationships. When Joe Losa says something, people just shake his hand and say it's done.
I don't think that there's anything more important to Joe than making sure that his customers are taken care of. And he can talk to someone at the governor's level, and he can talk to a driver that's driving one of his pieces of equipment. Not only the folks running it, but also the mechanics that are doing the work every day.
You have to be a jack of all trades, I'll put it that way.
The craftsmanship, the skill work that they do is astronomical.
To tear a vehicle apart and put it back together, and at the end of the day, that vehicle is better. These guys have figured it out. They can innovate on the fly. It's really amazing.
They bring that attitude of ingenuity, innovation, and hard work to our facility, and they've been doing that, many of them, for 17 years.
The team up there has got the capabilities to look at the design flaws, some of the areas where there's been failures, to improve the actual design and redesign over the flaws of the equipment. When I was up there, they were doing the MTA buses from Boston, and they were electric over diesel, very complicated. Not only is it just rebuilt, but it's redesigned in those areas where it needs to be.
People that live up here are a tough breed of folks. I mean, they live here because they want to be here.
It's a big family, you know. I think a lot of people put a lot of pride into their work. It's their name on the line, not just the company.
We have people here who can actually remember most of the parts that we carry here strictly by their number.
We're not scared of anything. As of right now, we're doing one of the most complicated buses in the world. Their quality's second to none.
That culture of ownership, of really caring, and your customer is number one, is everyday business for these guys.
The more time you put into prepping it, the better it's going to look when it's painted. My goal is to make everyone look better than the last one.
When you're setting up a program, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of development, and you plan out step by step on how you're going to accomplish that. You involve the guys that are actually doing the work. You can dictate to somebody, you're going to do it this way. It doesn't work because they're the guys doing it.
The people are our most important asset. And I got to tell you, this is not a venture that I could ever have achieved alone. I have some employees that worked with me 30, 40, 50, in excess of 50 years. And that says something of the character of the people we have and the culture of our organization.